Hi, welcome to Cherthetea. I'm Cher, and this is my best friend, Marina.
Hi.
Today, we are just having fun and answering some questions, and it's going to be super random. Just super random. I have these little cards right here. It's called Do You Remember? And it's just like random questions about just like maybe your childhood or stuff like that. So we're going to see what kind of questions we get. Let's see.
Here we go.
Do you remember learning to ride a bike? Who helped you? And do you remember your first bike crash?
I do. Oh my God. I didn't learn how to ride a bike until I was like 5. I was at daycare after school, and I remember this other little girl that was in daycare. It was like another little ass kid, and she taught me how to ride a bike without training wheels. And I remember when my mom picked me up, I was so excited to show her, and she was like, "What? Hurry up, show me real quick." And I'm like, "No, but I have to show you here." She's like, "Show me at home." "No, I got to show you here." But yeah, a little kid taught me.
See, I don't call him my dad anymore, but listen, my dad, he actually was teaching me how to ride a bike, and it was a mountain bike, and I was like 7, and this bike was like huge, so I couldn't even reach the pedals like really good. And I remember like just falling all the time, and then finally I kind of like just taught myself. And then my first bike crash, oh my God, it's so embarrassing.
Oh my God.
So I was riding the bike and I couldn't stop because the brakes wouldn't work. And I crashed into the curb, and I hurt my, let's say, private part.
Oh my gosh.
It hurt so bad. Like, that was the first time that I like learned that you could hurt that part.
Okay, so listen, that reminds me of like the first Christmas I ever remember getting presents from my dad.
Uh-huh.
He gave me like this big ass fucking mountain bike, and it was huge, and I was like 6 years old, and it was like an adult bike, and I remember I couldn't even touch the pedals, and I had to grow into it. I did use it once I got bigger, but I crashed a lot trying to learn on that.
That thing, yeah. Oh my
He
God.
tried.
I can't believe I shared that story.
Right.
Let's see. Do you remember whether you worried about being popular as a teen?
I did. When I hit like 13, I worried about being popular, and I was like insecure because I wasn't one of the pretty popular girls. I wasn't a cheerleader or whatever, and I always like idolized them. And then I hit like 15, 16, and I was like, I don't fucking even want to be around those kind of girls. Like, let alone do I want to be one. No.
See, I used to hang around, I'm not going to name names, but like I used to hang around these guys, and they were the popular crowd. And I remember just like being with them and like being known, but then when I wouldn't sleep with them, then it was a problem.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm not going to sleep with you to get popularity. Like, that's just not me. And yeah, so they kind of kicked me out of it, and I kind of just stopped hanging around them, and then kind of found like my own little clique and stuff. But I remember worrying like so much, like, are people going to like me? Are they going to hate me? What am I going to do? I remember wanting to be a cheerleader, but then when it came to it, my anxiety was just so high, and I couldn't even try out. So I never became a cheerleader.
Same. I wanted to try out so bad, but I was just like, no.
Little fact, I was a cheerleader for like the community like cheerleaders that they have. I was
yeah?
a cheerleader for them.
See, I want to put my kids in that.
And it's actually then it was really fun. I'm pretty sure it is now.
I think if you put Khalees in there and then we put my kids in there,
they would
love
it.
My kids love to cheerlead. They cheerleaded for Garber, not last year, but the year before.
Aww. Do you remember your first kiss?
I do. Back to the daycare. I'm not going to name names, but my daycare lady, her daughter was older, my older sister's age, and they were best friends. So my mom just kind of put me in her daycare, and her little brother, her son, we were in the same class, and we would ride the bus home together or whatever. He was my first kiss. And I was just like super obsessed with him. And my mom kept telling me, he's so ugly. What is wrong with you?
We were just talking about this when we were at McDonald's. We took the kids to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. My mom actually, I used to like this kid. And yeah, like My mom would like, he needs to brush his hair. Why do you like him?
Dude.
And she would be like, I'm going to get you a comb so you can take it to him.
You know what? My grandma was like that, but not just about people I dated, about any friend I had or anyone I ever brought around. She's going to criticize their appearance. I remember being best friends with this girl. And I mean, I spent every freaking weekend at her house. I mean, we were just like close. I feel like she's closer to me as a sister, even to this day. And every day, she used to walk home, but when my grandma would pick me up, she would give her a ride. Every day, we'd pull up to her house. She would get out and run to the door. My grandma would go, God, she's getting so fat. And I'm like, Graham, you can't say that. She's not even fat. She's skinnier than you. Shut up. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom would call like these girls. So I got bullied in school. A lot of people don't know. I was bullied in school because I always liked black men, like, or mixed. And I remember being in school and I liked this guy. He was black, of course. And the black girls weren't happy. They were not happy at all. And I remember being in the bathroom and they cornered me in the bathroom. And I was like scared for my life. There was like 5 of them and it was just me. And they're like, you better not talk to him. Leave him alone. He's our black man. He's our black man. And he don't want no Mexican white girl. And I'm like, and then I remember telling my mom that I was being like bullied and like harassed and stuff. And she called the counselor. The counselor literally put me and those 5 girls in the same room and was like, so it looked like I tattletaled, which I didn't. But at the same time, I had to go to school.
Right.
And it wasn't just one girl. If it was maybe one girl, I could have like handled it. But I had 5 girls and it was just me, you know, and it was just.
That's crazy. Because you know what? If you are ashamed of like hearing your behavior being spoken about, maybe you should change your behavior. You know what I mean?
Right.
I dealt with that a lot. Like going to Saginaw or going to Flint. Like I've never been liked just because like I'm a light-skinned girl and I'm from Bay City or whatever. And I don't know if they're insecure about themselves or colorism plays in, but I have always been disliked by dark-skinned girls.
That's
and I've
how I was.
always been kind of not picked on because nobody's going to pick on me, but talked about behind my back, you know, or giving me dirty looks, and I'll just smile because what are you gonna do?
like,
You're mad because I'm pretty. I'm sorry, you're pretty too. Like,
Right.
chill.
And that's the thing. Like, these girls were pretty. And it's just like, why are you harassing me? Like, I didn't, just because I liked him, like, you know, doesn't mean that we're going to be together or anything like that. Like, you're harassing me over this guy. Like, I remember this girl, I used to like this one guy and he rode my bus. And this bigger girl, she didn't like me and she would like criticize me like and be like, why are you wearing your hair like that? Or because I used to like braid my hair and stuff.
And I'm just sorry, what color was she?
She was black.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was jealous of your hair.
And I did my hair, like I would braid my hair and stuff and put it in like these little ponytail things. And she's like, why are you wearing your hair like that? And I'm just like, because I want to. And then she like shoulder bumped me in the hallway. And she's like, leave him alone. He's mine. I'm like, he doesn't even know who you are. Like, why are you fighting me over a guy I'm not dating or anything like that? Like, you know, we were cool and stuff. But yeah, like she shoulder bumped me and I'm like, what? Like, what are you going to do? And she never did anything. But like, I was always harassed in school. It was like, I hated going to school.
That's crazy. You know, like, I don't know. People have never really said anything to my face, but I've definitely noticed the haters and like even some of my very best friends who I considered sisters.
Yep.
They loved me, but they didn't like me. And it was just because they didn't like themselves. And, you know, I really tried not to let it ever bother me. It honestly flattered me more than anything. But, like, why would you be mad about someone if they're not interested in you, obviously?
Exactly. And that was my thing. And then, so change the subject. What do you tell your kids, like, if they're bullied in school? Like,
well, Taylor is actually experiencing this right now. She spoke to me a few weeks ago, basically saying that some little boy, I won't name names, is bothering her, and he's always picking on her. And I said, is he picking on anybody else? No. I said, okay. And, she's told me she's been broken down to tears by this little boy, whatever. Well, the other day we're driving home from school, and as soon as I picked her up from school that day, she comes running up to me. She goes, he was mean to me again today, because I told her, like, you let me know.
Right.
So on the way home, I'm calling, and I want to talk to the damn principal. Okay,
Yeah.
like, I'm pissed. And they're like, okay, we'll have her call you right back. Okay, whatever. I hang up the phone. I said, you're not talking about your old Mrs. Teacher's name. Is that her son? That's not her son, right? And she goes, but it is. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I promise you, if the principal doesn't handle this, then I'll be going right to her. I have respect her a lot, and I do really like her. But at the same time, you're gonna make your kid stop fucking with my kid,
Yeah.
or we're gonna have big problems. And I will be
Exactly.
smiling in my mugshot, and I won't give a damn.
Right. See, we tell Kaz, like, if he does get bullied, don't if he's in your face, hit him, but like, don't initiate the fight, and don't, just try to ignore him. But if he does, like, try to fight you, fight back.
And I tried to tell
and we'll
Taylor
worry
this
about
too.
the suspension, and we'll worry about all that later. But don't. And I tell him, because we go to the park sometimes, the park that we
Right.
go to down the road, and there's these kids, and I watch him. I don't let anyone bully him, but I watch him because I want to see what he's going to do if he does get bullied.
Right.
And this one time, this kid was like, Kaz was digging a hole or something, and this kid, like, literally came over on his bike and, like, rode over the hole that he was digging. And I'm like, so I was waiting to see what he was gonna say.
Right.
He didn't say anything, but then I called him over and was like, hey, don't let anyone bully you. And that's the reason I haven't let him go to the park down the road.
That is Taylor too, though.
I know he's 9, he's 9, and the park is literally down the road from our house.
Honestly, I wouldn't
And
either, because he's
I'm
not going to
like-
defend himself.
And
He's too sweet.
He is.
He's way too
My
sweet.
baby is just he's so sweet, and I love that for him.
I know,
But at the
right?
same time, I'm like, and his dad,
The world is cool.
Ron tries to, like, instill that in him, like, you need to be tough, and stuff like that. But I'm like, that's
It's
my
just not
baby.
him. It's not
like,
who he
that's
is.
not who he is. Like, if someone picks on him, he might be like, hey, don't do that. But, like, he's not gonna fight.
That is the
and I
same
hate
with
that for
Taylor,
him.
though.
Khalees on the other side, she's 5, and
I'm scared of Khalees.
my daughter will, like, she don't care, and she, oh my goodness, she talks to all these strangers, okay, and she'll be like, hey peoples, look what I got, peoples. And I'm like, quit
so
talking to
cute.
strangers. Like, and she's watching these shows and stuff, and they're telling them about strangers, and I'm like, see, they're gonna come get you if you don't, and no, she just, hey peoples, like, and I'm like,
But that's Taylor too, though. She will not defend herself. I mean, to anybody. But I know this kid is a bully. We were standing on the playground one day after school. It was like towards the beginning of the school year. Cammy's on the monkey bars. He comes over to the monkey bars and he calls her stupid out of nowhere. She had not spoken to him, whatever. And I told her, Cammy, just ignore him. Because I'm
Yeah.
going to try that route first.
yeah.
At the same time, if anyone gets in your face, you have full permission to blow their shit out. It is what it is.
It is. We'll deal with it later.
And he kind of looked at me and I said, just ignore him. He probably feels bad about him being stupid. So he's got to reflect that to you, just ignore him.
Yeah.
He looks at me or whatever. So when I'm talking to the principal, when she finally calls me back, I'm like, hey, I know this kid is a bully. I've seen him do it to my other child firsthand,
Right.
whatever. She goes, and when was this? Was this on the playground after school? I said, yes, it was. She goes, well, he rides a bus every day, so he wasn't there. I said, so you're calling me a liar? I said, he didn't ride the bus every single day this year because the little boy was there in front of my own eyes,
Yeah.
bullying one of my kids.
Why am I gonna lie on a little ass kid?
And I said, you know what? She's like, well, we need to know when and where so we can watch out. I said, well, you're not going to get that from Taylor because she didn't timestamp and date every freaking time it happened. But you know
Right.
what? Maybe you could just watch him, keep a closer eye all the time. And you know what? Never mind. I will talk to Brandy myself, which
Yeah.
is his mother. She was both my kids' young fives teacher. I said, don't worry, I'll talk to her myself, and not even on no disrespectful shit. Like,
Yeah.
I respect her, and I know that she will take care of it. I said, you're obviously not going to help my daughter. So I'm going to hang up.
Heck yeah. I would do the same thing. We going up to the school, pulling up, shoot.
Literally.
Don't play with our kids. Okay. Do you remember your first prom?
Girl,
Did you go to prom?
I did not. I went to homecoming.
I didn't go to homecoming. I didn't go to prom.
My freshman year, I didn't even go to school. Girl, I swear to God, I was at school like 5 days my whole freshman year.
I hated school, like, with a passion since kindergarten. When
Me
I first
too.
started, I hated hated school. I hated it because I'm dyslexic. I don't know if you know that, but I am dyslexic. And so sometimes it is a little harder for me to comprehend depending on what is going on, you know. And I would tell a teacher, hey, this is going on. I don't understand it. Can you help me? And they would be like, no. And I'm like, so how am I supposed to do my work if I'm not understanding or, you know, and stuff like that? So I hated going to school. And then finally, the truancy officer was after me all the time.
Me too.
They knew me by name and who I was. And I would tell my mom, like, I'm not going to school. And then the truancy officer told me at whatever age, it was like 16, I didn't have to go to school no more. So he's like, just sit in class, don't do your work, then whatever, do it.
Make it to your birthday, your 16th
make it to your birthday, and you're good. And I'm like,
whatever.
So 16th birthday came and...
Yeah.
That's the end of that
was
story.
The same for me too. And I see so much of that in Cambry, my daughter. You know, I see her struggle, like the same struggles I had. I had so much things against me, so much shit against me when I was in school, especially younger. You know, I wasn't living with either of my parents. They were, you know, my dad was not there because my grandma wouldn't let him be. My mom was an addict. And I just like didn't have a good home life with my grandma. And I didn't, you know, like when it was time to participate in things or make projects or send in items or, you know, whatever, like I didn't have that. I was always the kid that didn't have the lunch packed or didn't have the project done or didn't have things to volunteer or donate. Like I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was really hard for me. And then, you know, I had ADHD. So it was really hard for me to like get things done. And just, you know, feeling like out of place. Like everyone's got a mom and dad. Everyone's, you know, involved and like connected, you know, and I'm just here like taking up space.
See, my mom always worked. So when she was working, she couldn't help me do whatever I wanted to do. So it's not like I didn't have a good life, like a home life, and I didn't have a father figure in my life either. And it was so like, I felt out of place too. Like I didn't belong. And then when it came to like dances and prom and stuff, like I wasn't going to school. So when you go to prom, you have to have credits. I don't know if you know that.
I did not.
Yeah, you have to have so many credits to attend. Like it's stupid. They're like, well, you don't have enough credits, you can't go to prom. So I never went to prom. I never went to homecoming. Like, no.
See, I did go to homecoming. My freshman year, I went to Central, and I swear to God, Sheridan, I literally went like 5 days out of that whole year. I'm not even kidding. But I had a boyfriend that I met in the end of 8th grade. We had met. My mom ended up letting me move in with him. Before the freshman year had even started. She was basically like, oh, I don't have to take care of you.
Right.
You know,
there you go.
Bye-bye. And, you know, his parents couldn't force us to go to school. And when they did drop us off, we would walk in the back door and we'd walk out the side door and we'd walk all the way home. And they would be sleeping by the time we got there. We'd be like, oh, yeah, let's go smoke some weed. And, you know, whatever, do what we want.
Right.
So I did go with him. And it was below average, if you ask me. It was like nothing special at all. Honestly, it was a waste of money and my time because all I wanted to do was get the hell out of there.
See, I get social anxiety.
Me too.
So like it's hard for me to interact with people, and then like I have a resting bitch face. So
me too.
It's so hard for me to make friends. And that's like my biggest thing. So when I reached out to you about being like friends and stuff like that, it was like, is she gonna like me? Is she gonna want to meet up? Is she gonna like?
Same.
You know, it was so hard for me to reach out and then like actually go in person.
Right. When I first met you in person, I'm like, okay, is she gonna like me? Is she gonna hate my kids? Like, oh my God, you know, so many things were running through my head, and I'm like, no, she seems really cool. Like, you know, calm down.
I'm
I
really
almost didn't
chill
show up. I'm
afterwards.
like, oh my God, maybe I can't go or whatever. Because I not only have like social anxiety and an anxiety disorder, I have agoraphobia.
What's that?
Where I'm afraid to like leave my house and like interact. Okay. I'm like worried all the time that something bad's gonna happen. I'm in Walmart shopping, someone's gonna come shoot us up, and like I'm gonna die. You know what I mean?
Or like not that I fantasize. It sounds so crazy. I don't even know. But like not that I fantasize about a car crash, but I feel like when I'm in my car, like I'm watching everyone. And it's my biggest thing. And then when I have my kids in the car, it's like higher anxiety.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay, I'm watching every car and I'm trying to focus on the road. And then it's like, my kids are going to be okay. Like, I don't know what that kind of like, it just, my anxiety.
No, when I had Taylor, I was so worried about having her in the car that I had to get medicated. because I'm like, oh my God, the grandparents aren't going to buckle her right. Someone's going to hit them. Someone's going to hit me while we're out driving.
Yeah.
And I'm still crazy about the car. Sheridan, I can hardly go on the highway anymore.
Oh, I can't do the highway at all.
And I'm supposed to go out of town Saturday.
No, like,
And I'm very well traveled. I've left the country. I've went many places.
Where did you go?
Bahamas.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I've never been out. Well, okay.
I've been to Vegas, to Grand Canyon.
Out of the
Disneyland.
country, I've been to Canada, but like not
It still
exotic.
counts. It still
not
counts.
not exotic places.
Bahamas barely counts, but
I mean, hey, shoot.
but I went by ship, and I would never do that today.
No.
No, I can't
I've
ride
been
on the
wanting-
highway, train, airplane. I can't do it.
See, I've been wanting to do a girls' trip on a ship.
See, I would do it just to get away. Hopefully, I do fucking drown overseas. I don't have to come back. If I was going with you, yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I could handle it.
I want to do
My
a
family,
girls' trip.
no.
Not this year for my birthday. This year we're doing Grand Rapids.
You are okay.
Yeah,
That's where I'm
so-
going Saturday.
Okay, so yeah, I've never no. Have I? No, I've never been to Grand Rapids. I don't think. But we
think I
normally
have
we
either.
normally do Detroit.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
this year I want to switch it up because last year we stayed in Bay City.
I was gonna say.
So
yeah.
I want to do Detroit or Grand Rapids this year.
And you know what's crazy? I didn't even come, even though you were in Bay City,
Yeah.
because of my anxiety, and also just because out of respect for my husband, and
Yeah.
shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that.
So let's see. Let's do another question because
Okay.
I don't like that one. Do you remember being scared by something as a child? What was it? And does it still scare you?
Oh my God, this will get heavy.
Oh, you
I actually was afraid when I would be with my mom alone, like my grandma would be at work or whatever. There was a couple times, there was this one time in particular, this was like the first time she had passed out high, and I was alone with her, and I was only like 6, so I didn't
God.
know what to do or whatever, and she like had her face in a plate of food and everything, and I called my grandma at work, and I'm like, hey, she's all fucked up, like what do I do? And my grandma's like, put the phone to her ear. My grandma's screaming in the phone. She's like, slap her. I slapped her, and there was food in the oven. She had put fish sticks in the oven for me, and I'm like, Graham, they're burning, like I can smell it. I don't know how to turn it off, like I don't know what to do. And she goes, she tried to wake her up herself with the phone to her ear, and she's like, do not call 911. I am on my way. I'm leaving work. And I'm like, oh, shit. She got there, and she just, like, walks up to my mom and fucking wham, smacks her in the face, like, get the fuck out of here. And I was always worried after that, like, is she going to die when I'm alone with her?
Right,
You
that
know,
would be
like,
so
is she going to
traumatizing.
fucking pass away? And I
Yeah.
don't know what to do. Yeah.
Oh no.
That's what I dealt with a lot as a kid.
See, I feel like a lot of people deal with like their parents being addicts or something and they don't know what to do. And I've never dealt with that, so I don't know how people feel about it. And it hurts my heart that people go through that kind of stuff. Like, I hear stories, read stories, and I'm like, for someone to go through that is traumatizing.
It is.
Like, how do you come back from that? You know what I mean? And so do you feel because your parent was an addict, you become an addict? Like, do you
Yes.
think it's like a
Yes.
gene?
No, I think it is a gene, because when you have the disease of addiction, and it is a disease, you don't know until you find something that works, that you're like, oh, okay, this made me feel really good, and I'm going to keep doing it. But I do believe that because of her giving me substances at a very young age, like 12 years old, if you're upset, take this. If you're feeling cramps, take this. If you're mad, take this. If you want to feel happy, take this. And she
Okay.
would like shove them at me, And she also got me put on medication and had me over medicated, and things like that with, heavy medication. But I don't know. It was like, I almost didn't believe that there was a different life out there for me. I felt like I was just like falling in line. Like that was my only choice. I had to do drugs and live that sort of lifestyle.
See, for me, like I said, I've never lived that, so I'm not even going to pretend like I even know. But like, I feel like to me, this is just my opinion, like you see your parents or your cousins or whatever, your aunts, and you see them do that, like it would scare you enough not to do it.
And it did. I went back and forth a while with my mom. When I was like 8, I remember her being on heroin really, really bad, and me going no contact with her, just, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to see you, whatever. And then when I was around like 11, she came to live with me and my grandma. And I remember thinking like, oh, I can change her. I can make her better. I can make her have hope in life again. And I tried so hard. And then when I was like 16, I realized this will never change.
Yeah.
My mom went through a lot, and she had a lot of pain that she just didn't know how to deal with. So I learned to accept her as her.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's when my mom became my best friend.
Yep.
And we just became super, super close. But it did end with me finding her overdosed, and it's
so
sad, but she just couldn't. She
couldn't handle it.
No.
Yeah, I think especially losing a person to addiction, I think it's just hard. Like I think it's harder because you feel like they almost like took their own life. And I feel like if she were to have gotten into a car accident or something, or died from natural causes, it'd be a little more easier to grieve.
Yeah.
And then when they're doing drugs, it's almost, I don't want to sound like a bitch, but like it's selfish.
It is selfish. It is. It is. And you know what? When I started spiraling in my addiction after she died, and after I got with my baby daddy, or having kids really spiked my addiction, because I was doing everything by myself, 202, and it was just like I didn't know how to cope. So my addiction got worse.
Gotcha.
But when I got really bad, I had overdosed 4 times.
Damn.
And on my last overdose, I had just overdosed the 3rd time the night before. The same crew, the same people are working in the hospital, so they all seen me last night.
Right.
And I remember waking up in the hospital, and I said, "What happened?" And they were like, "Oh, you did it again." And I just remember finding my mom, and I just thought, what if my kids find me or have to deal with that? I could never do that to them. Like I don't want to die. I want to live. I want to live a good life.
See, and that's good, because when you have an addiction, it could be to anything almost. Like,
oh no,
but like when you have an addiction, you have to have something to live for.
And you know what, Sheridan, now that I'm not on drugs, and I don't go to as many meetings as I should, my addiction comes out in other ways. And it's lottery tickets, it's sex, it's food, it's all these unhealthy things. And it's my addiction.
Yeah.
It's my addiction. I feel like coming out in other ways.
I was just going to say, when you have an addiction, for you not to use, you do other things.
Yes.
Which, I mean, isn't good, but it's good that you're not going back to that.
Yeah.
But it's also like,
it's a different kind of...
when do I stop doing this? It's kind of like when you're smoking and you chew gum or you vape or, so I just think that's really hard. And like having to deal with that. And I just feel like addiction is something that a lot of people deal with, and they don't want to, deal with, or not deal with it. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that should be talked about.
No, that's why you have to go to meetings, and you have to talk about it, because when you suppress things, that is a number one sign of relapse, is not talking about things, not answering your phone, not communicating how you're feeling on the inside. That's recipe for a relapse.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I don't know about it, so it's good to learn and seek help, and I know that when you're an addict, that you can only become clean when you're ready to become clean.
Oh yeah, there's nothing that's, if you do get clean and it's not because you chose to get your ass up and go and get clean, it's usually not going to last.
Right. If you seek help, and hopefully people get better and not normalize it, but like become like they can let it out and talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my baby daddy, he's really bad right now. And my kids were telling me the other day, like, I tell them that he's sick just because they're really young, and I feel like that's the best way for me to explain to them that he's sick.
Yeah.
The other day they were just saying, like, we really wish we could take him to the doctor and we could make him better. And I did have the conversation with them that your dad is on drugs, and we talked about it or whatever, and they were kind of shocked. And I'm like, people can think that I'm bad for saying that, but they know I used to be on drugs. They know my husband used to be on drugs. Like, they can know he's on fucking drugs.
Yeah.
I want them to know that he does love them.
Yeah.
Because Cammie said, he just doesn't want to raise us. And I said, that is not true. Your dad is really sick, okay?
Yeah.
And he just isn't ready to get that help yet. We've all offered it. His parents, me, my husband, like, we've all offered to help him get on his feet and get into treatment and help himself. So it's really sad to see my kids go through the same thing that I did as a kid.
I know what my parents kind of did, but they were never just bad like that. So I never really, dealt with that. But I feel like if you're watching this, like, inbox me. You can always, like, talk. I feel like talking is like the best, letting it out and just receiving,
Honestly, NA meetings or Peer 360 meetings, that's what we do. We go in there, we talk, and we leave our shit there. We go to a meeting, we unpack all of our bullshit.
Yeah.
We get advice. We have
walk out
people
like
that are listening.
new.
Yes, and when we leave, it just feels like we got so much off our chest. It feels good. That is your new drug, they say. When you get off drugs, meetings are your new drug. You have to go. You have to talk about it.
That, seek a meeting, look for meetings in your area. I'm sure someone can find something for you.
There's a meeting literally every single night in Bay City.
Okay.
A couple days of the week they have one in the afternoon too. But anybody can message me. I can tell you,
we'll
all
put
about
her
it.
information as well, and that way, because she knows more about that than I do. So, but if you need to talk, you can message us. I'll put our names down here and ads and stuff, and get it out, and that way if you want to stay clean,
Absolutely.
Do you remember the best advice you've ever received?
Don't force somebody to do things they don't want to do.
That's good.
It is really good.
That is good.
And it took me a long time to get it. It took me until recently to understand what they meant when they told me that.
Because I feel like when you're forcing someone, like, even though they're doing what you want them to do, it's not genuine.
It's not genuine.
And
it will end eventually. And it's on conditions.
Yeah. And I feel like it's actually like Ron just said from Miss Frizzle, take chances, make mistakes, get messy. I feel like that you have to make mistakes in your life to get where you're going to be.
Exactly.
And I think I was talking to my sister or my mom, and I was telling them, like, because it was a question in here, like, if you woke up and you were 16 again, what would you do? And I would, like, repeat what I did, because I feel like if I did anything different, then I wouldn't be here with my husband and my kids.
Yes.
Like,
I would have that same feeling.
I would probably have a husband and kids, but they wouldn't be my husband and kids.
Exactly. And I don't regret anything in my life because of that reason right there.
Exactly. And I mean,
my kids are my whole entire world. Even though they drive me crazy, I couldn't imagine taking a different life path at any moment and then not meeting their dad and having them.
It's So I wouldn't do anything different. But so mine is Miss Frizzle. Take chances, make mistakes, get messy. Life will get a little easier for you.
It will.
Let's see. How long do you think you'd survive in a zombie apocalypse?
Girl. I'm probably getting eaten right away. I'm not gonna last long at all.
You can just come here.
I'm honestly probably gonna walk toward them. Like, take me out. I'm good. I'm done.
I don't know. I feel like, okay, like, if you watch certain movies, the zombies are really fast. Okay,
really fast.
If they're really fast, I'm dead. Like, I ain't even gonna pretend like I'm dead. But if they're slow, I feel like I have a better chance.
Okay, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Because if these kids want to drive me crazy, take my ass first, please.
Just take
I will come to you willingly. Or if I'm like, okay, I love my kids and my family today, we're out of there. I'm
going to give myself, like, okay, if they're fast, maybe a couple days. Maybe. I'll stay in the house and try to, But if they're slow, I'm going to give myself, like, a week.
Okay, because honestly though, when I want to, like, when I have it in me, Like, I ain't scared of shit. Like, it ain't nobody can take me down. Ain't no one that can hurt me. I can fuck up a whole army of fucking people. So it just depends on what mood I'm in.
What mood you're in?
Yeah.
Let's see. Have you ever gone a day without wearing underwear? Yeah.
Yeah, but I hated it. It was gross. I don't like the no underwear thing as sexy. That ain't fucking sexy. That is gross. If you want to be sexy, you better put on a pair of sexy ass thongs or fucking underwear. You are not sexy if you're wearing no panties. That's gross.
Okay.
It's nasty.
I mean, I've gone a day without wearing underwear.
Me too, though. But it wasn't because I thought I was sexy.
No. It had nothing to do with sexiness. But like, it's like if I was sleeping in bed or something and just throw on some clothes real quick. But like,
that's how you get an infection.
It's not
you get nasty
something.
Shit in there.
It's not something I just do.
Protect your vaginas, people.
Oh shit. You gotta let them breathe, though.
Yeah, at night when you're sleeping.
Let's see. What secret conspiracy would you like to actually start? What does it say?
Letting other
people know.
I guess it's not really like people don't know this, but just the elites, all the people that are idolized and they're, oh, Beyonce, oh, this and that. They're all fucking pedophiles.
I feel like there's something going on.
They're all pedophiles, and they have sacrificed people, they kill people, they hurt children, and that is one of my main things that drives me nuts is people worshiping Beyonce or worshiping these artists, and it's like they're hurting children though. They hurt children.
I mean, it's not a conspiracy or anything. I just feel like people idolize these people that are famous, like children, and then they set standards like I'm supposed to look like that.
Yeah, the beauty standards.
You know,
and they don't even look like that. That is retouching. That is freaking makeup. That's lighting. That's filtering. They don't even look like this.
And it like hurts. It hurts me because like I have a daughter. You have two daughters.
Yeah.
And it's like
they're putting
this image that you have to
look
skinny,
perfect or
that
this
you
way.
have to have a big butt, that you have to look a certain way in order to fit in. And I don't like that. And then, like, when you see these models on the runway, like the Victoria's Secret models, don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. They are beautiful. But why can't a big girl be up there in the same underwear and the wings?
Exactly. And you know what?
I'm a bigger girl right now. Like, I gained weight a lot. 2020 hit. And I don't want to just blame it on the COVID and stuff, but we were locked in the house,
and you just had a baby when that happened too, though.
Yeah, like I had her the year before, and it was just like, it was so hard in that. I
think a lot of people gained weight.
Oh, definitely, a lot of did, but like and then it just sucks because now I'm like, I have to lose, not like just mentally, I have to lose it in order to fill.
And that's because they've pushed that standard out. You know what I mean? It sucks. It really does. And I feel bad because, it used to be, you need to be a toothpick. You need to be super, super skinny. And everybody, all the girls that thought that, they got super, super skinny. And now you need a big ass and you need big tits and you need curves. So go get plastic surgery and get fillers in your face and get your body done. Okay, but what's going to happen when that changes again?
Yeah.
When the new trendy body size is gonna change
Smaller.
again, and then you're stuck with this big fucking ass duck lips. You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to change. Be you. Love yourself the way you are.
It sucked as a child because like 13, 14, 15, I was always more curvy than other girls.
Me too.
So I had like thick thighs and I had a butt and I had like almost a flat stomach, and I was like this one girl that I was friends with, her cousin called me fat. And at that time, I was not fat at all. And she's like, why is she wearing that? She looks fat in it. And I was just like, and it just really like got to me.
Yeah.
And that's when I started like,
I'm not built like a boy.
I would work out a little bit. I would like not eat, and it was like,
that's sad.
I got to the point where I was just like, I need to be skinny. And then I lost weight. And like, even her mom was like, you lost a lot of weight. And I was like, thanks. Like, but it was because I was like, in this mental state, and it just killed me. But I feel like that's just it sucks when you have kids. Like before you have kids, you don't worry about that.
No, you don't. And now
then
I'm worried
after-
about my oldest. I'm worried about
Yeah.
my oldest. Even my youngest called her fat recently. And I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, she's not fat. She's
Yeah.
getting chubbier.
But she's thickening out. She's gonna be a thick girl, not fat. Like, but she's gonna be
She's
a
going to
thick
be built
girl.
like my mom.
She's like thick. Yeah. One of her daughters is like really like tiny and skinny, and then the other one, she's like thicker, but she's not fat at all.
She's not fat, but she needs. We have talked about this. She's got to quit eating as much sugar as she
See,
does. If
my
she
son
will
is
be
like that.
she
Chaz?
will be obese if I don't. And I have put a halt to it. This past couple of weeks, I'm like, no. She's, oh, can I have this candy? Can I have this ice cream? Can I have this? And I'm like, no.
See, Kaz earlier was making ramen noodles. Okay, he was making ramen noodles, has them in his hand, and asked me, "What's for dinner?"
Yeah. Okay, Taylor, I gave her a
my-
candy bar the other day, and she comes walking right out with a more Valentine's Day candy she had stashed. And I'm like, Taylor, you just had a whole candy bar. What are you doing? And it's not because I think she's going to be fat. Diabetes runs really strong
See, in
in
my
all
family,
sides of my
too.
family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Taylor, you can get diabetes. You can have, your heart has to work harder.
Mm-hmm.
The more weight you gain. Like, it's not just about weight. I don't care if you were fat. I would love you no matter what.
no matter what.
But it gives you health issues.
See, and my son is on this. I don't know if he heard it from school or where he heard it, but he has this thing where he's weighing himself a lot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he weighs himself a lot.
That is not good. That's not
And I'm
good.
like, oh my god.
Pick up the scale and put it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Cause
Yeah, that way, because he shouldn't be thinking about that. Nobody should. Even
And
if
he's
you're
only
having
9.
if you're having issues with your weight and you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to gain weight, you should never get on the scale. At least maybe once every month, or once every
Right.
couple months. If you're an adult, I don't recommend a kid doing it. I wouldn't even recommend an adult doing it if you're trying to worry about.
See, right
your
now
weight.
I've been going to the gym and stuff,
You
and
think
I'm
you
like
worry about how
avoiding
your
the
clothes
scale.
are fitting you. Are they getting tight? Are they getting loose? That's really how you should be
See, that's
measuring.
what I was doing. I have this outfit in my closet that I'm like, it's my goal outfit.
Girl, you're not gonna take me to the gym with you?
You need to come.
You ain't invited me.
I invited her, people. I invited her. And
I
she
had
told me,
one slip up.
She said, I'm too tired today. I'll go with you next time.
I overslept, and the kids stayed home from school. I overslept so bad. That was see. Next time you go, I need to come with you.
She's coming to the gym because I go in the morning. I try to go 3 times a week, and yeah, so
I need reasons to get out my house. Trust me.
well, she's coming with me next time.
Yay.
All right, so that was our show for today. I want to thank Marina for being here.
Of course.
And if you guys want to see her again, comment down below her name. I'll put her name up here. #Marina. And I just want to, thank people for watching and my co-host for coming on.
Of course.
And this is just a big dream of mine that I just, I want to, put the knowledge out there and stuff like that people can seek help with anything that we're here. You can message me. I'll put my links down here, and if you want to talk about anything, don't hesitate to reach out. And as well as for her,
Yes.
I will put her information down here, and don't be afraid to seek help or feel like you're going to be judged. This is a no judgment zone. We don't judge here.
Exactly.
And yeah, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.